Let's talk about Queer, one of my favorite movies, and undoubtedly for now, it is my favorite movie of 2024. I still have a couple of movies to watch in 2024, which I will be watching very soon. But I will tell you that Queer is definitely a movie that has not left my thoughts. So this is Luca Guadagnino's second film this year, with Justin Kuritzkes writing it, which is based on a novella of 1985 by William S. Burroughs. And we have Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross returning after Challengers with Mr. Guadagnino and Kuritzkes. This film stars Daniel Craig, Drew Starkey, Lesley Manville, as well as Jason Schwartzman, and a slew of others. I will tell you, this movie is one of those movies that I think is just the best looking movie, and I still don't know how cinematographer Sayambu Mukyip was not nominated, but that's what it is, right? But let's talk about the film, which had its premiere at Venice. I got the chance to watch it at TIFF, and this is one of those movies that I'm telling you, it will change you. So this movie, it says, set in 1950s Mexico City, we follow Lee, who after fleeing from a drug bust in New Orleans, wanders around the city's clubs and becomes infatuated with Allerton, a discharged American Navy serviceman. Now, this film I thought was really beautifully shot. That's the first thing you're going to notice, I think. And it's something that I think is going to be a standout when it comes to films in the future. Now, Luca Guadagnino is no stranger to style. My favorite Guadagnino film is Suspiria. I think Suspiria is like an amazing film, and I really love what Guadagnino did with that. I'm excited about American Psycho. I have a video talking about that later today. But in Queer, we see Guadagnino take a lot more risk, I think, especially compared to the previous films he's done, and even more so, a lot different than Challengers, where I think Challengers does have its unique visual flair. I think Queer is a bit more, I would say, dream. It's a dreamier film, and in the sense that it does take some abstract sort of turns, and I do want to talk about that in the future pretty soon, and more about what I really enjoyed about the film in itself. But I don't want to get into spoilers or things like that. So that's a big thing right here, is that I think that this film really does a great job at really exploring not just the external conflict of this man who is sort of infatuated with this younger man and is trying to figure out how this relationship can move around, especially with a lot of the societal, I would say, norms and sort of what is expected of you during these times, but also in a more internal level, because you really get that internal struggle, which I think is something we always think about with books and sort of these like inspirations for films, right? Like in books or when we're reading something, we get that internal conflict, that monologue a lot of times, and it's kind of tricky to put that into a film, right? Because you don't want to exposition dump on the audience, because then it can get boring. It can get sort of like a bit infuriating, I guess you could say, as well, because you're just like, yeah, we get it. But I think the way that Guadagnino here does it, and the way that I guess in the screenplay it's done, it really does add a second layer to this film without it feeling sort of forced down on you, to sort of hear the internal conflict that William Lee, who is played by Daniel Craig, has for Eugene Allerton, the character that Drew Starkey is playing. And there's a sort of tenderness to both of these actors and the way they sort of bring this relationship forward. It doesn't feel like a movie in a sense, I guess you could say. 'Cause sometimes you can tell, or you can really get out of a film because the two characters are acting like they're in a movie. And here it feels very subtle, it feels very tender, and it just feels normal, I guess, in a way where you're really trying to sort of feel each other out and how everybody's trying to act in the situation. And that's one of the things I think Guadagnino always does right, all the way back from the first film I ever watched from Guadagnino, which was Call Me By Your Name, and Bones and All, other films like that. There is a way that he does relationships where it does feel genuine. These characters are truly trying to find somebody that they can sort of be really close to, but at the same time they're kind of scared to let their guard down. But once that guard is down, Guadagnino really fills the film and everything around him with so much passion, so much intensity. It is truly something that I just find so amazing from him as a director, and I'm excited to see what he does in the future. I mean, the man is working on so many films right now, and music from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross in particular is truly what really cements this film and brings it together, because there is such a sense of longing, a sense of loneliness in the music. It really does bring it all in such a way that I'm just like baffled by it. Really loved it. There's a song in here, I believe it is called Pure Love, and that song is just radiating throughout the film. It's at the centerpiece of these scenes, and it almost gave me a vibe of the Twin Peaks theme, where it's always playing but you don't care. It could play throughout the whole movie movie, and that's fine. And I really love what Rensner I really love what Resner and Atticus Ross do here. See, I'm already like getting tongue twisted talking about the film. I want to watch it again. I haven't watched it since then. But I just think it's such a lovely film. It's really filled with so much passion, such a creative finale as well that really elevates it to another level as well, because it already was amazing in my honest opinion. And then once that finale, those last 10 minutes truly hit, it is just leaving you speechless and just there in your own thoughts and really thinking about your own life as well. I think the sort of regrets that we have and the sort of like wanting to really live life to the fullest, but at the same time we keep thinking about what everybody else is going to think, and that could definitely cause some problems for us. And I don't know, I just really love this film and its way of exploring the human emotion and all of that. Truly a wonderful film. I think that this is one of those that is going to be talked about for years to come. There's so much in it as well. It might not be a film that I think really pushes at the box office. I hope it does, but I think it's a film that people will look back and say, how did I miss up on this film? Like, how did I like let it go by and not see it in the theater? You know, I think it's going to be one of those films, and I truly am always loving what Guadagnino does, and I'm excited for the future. Daniel Craig, Starkey here, just amazing chemistry. Everybody else here, Jason Schwartzman as well, the MVP in the whole film for sure. Always great comedic timing from Schwartzman here. Like, everybody in the theater was cracking up with him as well. But overall, Queer is definitely that movie. Check it out if you haven't. I really do think this is Guadagnino's best work next to Suspiria. It is the best movie of the year in my opinion. As I said, I haven't seen a couple of movies. I will see the next 5 movies I still have left in the next like 2 or 3 weeks. So don't worry, I will give you a best of the year roundup by December 31st or January 1st at the latest. So into the new year, I will give you my best of 2024 and my favorite and all of that. So stay tuned. But Queer, definitely check it out. If you love Guadagnino's work, oh my god, you are going to love this. If you love good romantic film that is filled with abstract thoughts and all of that, this is that movie. Truly one of my favorites all year. And the amazing cinematography as well here cannot be overlooked. And I want more people to give Sayambu Mutprom their flowers, because this is beautiful stuff here. But anyways, let me know if you've watched Queer, if you're going to watch it or not, if you're excited for it. And if you've already watched it, let me know your thoughts below. Even if you don't love it as much as I do, I'm still curious to know what you think. As always, that's going to do it for me. Stay tuned to Nosferatu Reactions tonight, and I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.